So, hey, woke up this morning and I went out to do something in the kitchen. I forget what I was doing. I did a bunch of stuff in the kitchen. I was getting things compacted, meaning when I go to these food banks in different places and even the store, I get bags of this and bags of that. In other words, sometimes pancake mix doesn't come in a box; it comes in a bag. So I'm dumping the bags into containers that I have with sealed lids or twist-on lids, so it stays fresher in them, and I can store them easier. The bags don't stand up on their own. Obviously, they lay on a shelf, and I just wanted it in something safe that a mouse couldn't get into or a bug or yada yada yada. Anyway, same way with potato flakes, like instant potatoes. Sometimes they do come in a box. Most times I get them in bags. So I cut the corner off the bag and just dump them into a sealed coffee container with a twist top lid and put it on, kind of like a giant peanut butter jar, kind of like that. Anyhow, I was doing it and smelled weed like coming under my front door. And I'm thinking, what is going on now? So immediately I flip out. The next thing you know, I hear a couple of black guys down below here toward the head shop, but next door, one cussing another guy out for doing something in my building. And he said, you shouldn't. That guy's going to call the cops. I told you not to do that, blah, blah, blah. Then the next thing you know, a black guy ran across this way toward the Pollock building. Then, about 5 or 10 minutes later, some weirdo hippie-looking dude in a white car shows up here, and he stands outside his car door looking up at my windows for about 25, 30 minutes. And then after that, this hooker comes out of the building, Sandy Gill, and she walks over here, and she's like back to me talking to him. Now she's got these freaking. She kind of look like Jodie Foster in Taxi Driver. You know what I mean? Dressed like that, dressed like Jodie Foster's character, but real high '70s high heels, and she's definitely out of date. Trying to look like she was wearing Daisy Dukes and a holder top, or she was wearing something else. I forget. I have her on camera. I have a video on my YouTube page of her standing there back to me. But they know these black guys over here. Obviously, they're buying drugs off of them. Whatever Sandy does, I know she's into coke. I know she probably smokes weed. And this is all weed heads in here on this section where my fingers are going back and forth on my side. But he stood there for like 25 minutes. Now, I don't know if he was here just like when I use the term innocent bystander, I mean that loosely. Nobody's innocent. He was here to buy drugs or do something felonious or nefarious. So he came across the street a couple times, at least once or twice, and it looked like his car was parked right here where my finger is, and he walked this way. And then he walked back that way. And again, she came out of the building and talked to him. Another lady, blonde, came over and talked to him with a purse or some kind of package she had. And then she took off. And then another lady with a short-handled purse stopped and talked to him. But he was definitely like fucking this area right here. He was either waiting for somebody or he was trying to stare me down because they know about my camera sitting right here. Something was going on. Right where that car is parked, that's where he was. And he got out of his car and just sat there, like leaned against his car and just stood there and, not like this guy's doing. He's getting out, obviously, and walking across. But that's exactly what he did earlier, exactly what he did. And he walked across this way. So I don't know if he came into my building or he knows somebody in my building or somebody's, like I said, dealing drugs to him. And then after a while, he got back in his car. I've seen him sit there drinking coffee. I've seen him go into the head shop. He went up to the head shop. He's been here quite a few times. Longish hair, bikerish looking, or hillbillyish looking. Kind of looks like Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty. He has that ponytail look with the scruffy white-ish beard, mixed with gray and dark hair, but predominantly white. Same with his hairdo. Stood there for a little while, and then left. Got back in his car, sat there for maybe 2 minutes, and then left. So again, I don't know if this is his weed hookup or they're up to something, because I believe that Sandy Gill is one of the prostitutes that we're getting in his building. Now again, when you have no money for drugs, when you're a female, you have to pay for it in certain ways, if you get my meaning. She does. she also will pay a bill off that way. I'm more than assuming. You get what I'm saying? So I think I'm kind of how can I say it, a buzzkill on their inner workings here. I'm in the way here in the building. They're still defecating and peeing down at the bottom of the steps. The door's wide open now. The prostitutes can come and go now. And yeah, so I don't know if that was more for, well, the cops are going to get in, or, you know, he wants to complain to the landlord. I'll just leave the front door open and let all the drug dealers and prostitutes in, so he moves. You know what I mean? And I'm not moving. This is my neighborhood. I pretty much grew up in Pottstown, so didn't live here, but I grew up here. You know what I mean? My mom lived right around the corner, and all my siblings grew up here, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, I was raised in Limerick outside of Pottstown, but I came here probably starting at 16 on my own. I used to walk to Pottstown and cruise at night and just partying, and, you know, right up until I was 18, 20, and started visiting the bars and doing all that kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, so I've been a big part of Pottstown since, you know, my whole life. I lived in the Penn Village when I was age 6. I lived on Beach and Washington and down Beach Street. I lived all over Pottstown with my mother. So yeah, as a toddler on up, diaper baby on up, you know. So until my aunt took me and raised me in Limerick, so I was 18. So anyway, long story short, and the reason why this video is they are up to something. It looks like they're collaborating. I don't know what the hooker's up to, but about a week ago, I saw her walking down the street. I said, "Oh, there goes Sandy Gill, that freaking hooker." I'd love to call the cops on her, because I don't like her. I don't, you know, Bernie, her brother Bernie, I got along with great, but I wouldn't trust Bernie as far as I could chuck 2 people. But I got along with him. Her, I wouldn't pee in a bucket and pour it on her if she was on fire. Let's put it that way. So anyway, I was talking about her, and somebody downstairs or down front heard me, and I heard the guy say, "I thought she said she didn't know him." You know, he got all mad because I knew her, you know, and I was talking about her brother, and I was talking about her brother's boyfriend, and her sister Nadine, and her mom, and her daughter Holly. You know, just as I just mentioned like that to you, and he got all bent out of shape. I thought she didn't know him. You know what I mean? Like he's her pimp or something, her boyfriend. So I can only imagine what collaborative efforts they're coming up with to try to get me out of here. So I got to really watch my back. But this is why I'm making these preemptive videos. I'm showing her going up and down the street with her high heel hooker shoes on, and you know, if I do see her in the hallway, she's getting filmed. I guarantee you that. She don't belong in my building. There's nobody here that would, you know, bring her in just as a friend to visit. You know what I mean? They're either doing drugs in there or she's working her job, which is prostitution. So let's put it that way. But yeah, so I just wanted to make that clear, and that I have videos on my YouTube wall and on my Facebook that I covered my butt just in case something would happen. I took pictures of that dude sitting outside of his car, staring up at my cameras and looking over at me and just being a weirdo, creepy. You know, again, he could have been just waiting for his weed dealer to show up. I don't know, but yeah, I don't go just hang out in somebody's neighborhood, get out of my car and lean against my car and just stare at somebody's house. You know what I mean? That's creepalicious. To me, that's stalker or pedophile material, or something's going on. So that's what made me take the pictures and make the videos, just in case something would happen. So there we go. And again, if it does, it's collaborated with the drug dealers here, and there's drug dealers from my next door to my building this way, all the way up to the Yaki store. So they're all up this block. It could be any one of them, including somebody in my building she knows. So, all right, that's about it. I just wanted to make sure I cover my, tushy with what's going on here. And I'm waiting for him to try to jump me or rob me. And because the new thing is to jump a disabled person and rob them of their SSI check or try to get over some way. You know, they're like piranha. They look for weakness. So if you're limping, that's weakness to them. Oh, he's limping. He's hurt. Let's get him. You know what I mean? So being blind and diabetic and a slow mover to begin with because I got bad knees, that makes me a prime target. But I'm no target. I'm not a victim. Believe that. I'm well prepared for them. So I'll just leave that at that. Anyway, there you go.